The construction site came to life early that morning. Workers arrived in small groups, and machines started one by one. The sound of activity slowly filled the air. It looked like any other normal day. Everything seemed organized. Everything seemed under control. The project was progressing well, and the team had already completed several important stages. Confidence was high, and the routine of the site was familiar to everyone. Among the crew was Andre, a site technician who had a habit of paying close attention to details. He believed that the small things often revealed the most about how safe a workplace really was. During the morning briefing, the supervisor reviewed the day's tasks and reminded everyone to follow procedures. The message was clear, and the team quickly moved into action. At first, everything followed the expected pattern. Workers prepared their tools, checked their equipment, and began their assignments. The environment looked efficient and productive, but as Andre walked through the site, he noticed something small. One of the safety signs near a pathway had been moved slightly out of position. It was still visible, but not as clear as it should have been. It was a minor detail. Easy. Te. Ignori. Several workers passed by without paying attention to it. Andre paused for a moment and looked at the sign. He wondered if it had been moved temporarily or if someone had simply not noticed the change. He continued walking. As the morning progressed, he began to notice other small details. A tool left outside its usual storage area. A pathway that seemed slightly more crowded than before. A worker completing a task a bit faster than usual, skipping a brief check that was normally part of the process. None of these things were serious on their own. Nothing had gone wrong, but together they formed a pattern. Andre stopped and thought about what he was seeing. He remembered something he had learned during a safety training session. Safety does not usually fail all at once. It begins to slip gradually. The first signs are often small and easy to overlook. A detail choca. There, a small change in behavior. And if no one addresses those signs, they can slowly become part of the routine. Around midday, Andre decided to speak with the supervisor. He explained what he had noticed. He emphasized that nothing serious had happened, but that several small details seemed out of alignment with the usual standards. The supervisor listened carefully. Instead of dismissing the observations, he decided to walk through the site with Andre. As they moved through the different areas, the supervisor began to notice the same pattern. Small inconsistencies, small adjustments, small signs that things were not exactly as they should be. He called for a short team meeting. Without pointing to any individual, he addressed the group. Sometimes, he said, the first sign that safety is slipping is not a big problem. It's a series of small changes that we begin to accept without noticing. The workers listened. When we stop correcting small issues, we allow them to become normal. And when that happens, our standards begin to change. Several workers admitted they had seen some of the same details but had not considered them important enough to mention. The supervisor encouraged everyone to take action. Together, they corrected the small issues. The safety sign was repositioned. Tools were returned to their proper places. Pathways were cleared. Procedures were reviewed. None of these actions took much time, but they made a difference. By the end of the day, the construction site looked more organized again, more aligned with the standards that kept everyone safe. As Andre prepared to leave, he looked once more across the site. It still looked like a normal day, but now he understood something important. The difference between a safe environment and a risky one often begins with small details. The first sign that safety is slipping is rarely dramatic. It is quiet, subtle, easy to ignore. But for those who pay attention, it is also an opportunity. An opportunity to act early, to correct the course, and to ensure that small changes never become bigger problems. Because in any workplace, safety is not maintained by chance. It is maintained by people who choose to notice, speak up, and take action when it matters most.